Good afternoon, Tallahassee. I am student meteorologist Marc-Anthony Roby bringing you your 4 FSU weather updates. And today, we have a wet one on us today. Today's highs we've seen in the 90s, 91 in Tallahassee, 90 in Quincy, 95 in Bainbridge. So we did experience some heat early on today, but it started cooling down when we started seeing a lot of that rain coming in, which we see it came around 3 or 4 o'clock. A lot of that moisture just hovered over in the Big Bend area, dropping lots of rain, dropping our temperatures very low to where now we're seeing in the 70s. But yes, it was a nice one. And tonight's forecast is going to be 75 with isolated storms in the evening with a 40% chance of rain. So it's not really a great night to go out because even though it's going to feel cool, it's going to be a lot of rain coming. And for the weather headlines, the rainy, stormy day was today, and tomorrow expect more rain with the pattern continuing until Monday. And now I'm going to hand it off to Alyssa with a look at the local.
Thank you, Marc-Anthony. Yeah, we're going to be looking more at Tallahassee right now. So currently 76, a lot of thunderstorms going out there. I'm sure if you've been out there, you've been hit with some heavy rain, actually. Our current temperatures are a little cooler than we normally see during the summer time because we do have all that rain coming in. So we have 76 in Tallahassee, 77 in Monticello. We are heating up to 89 in Perry, and up there in Marianna, we got 92. So heating up as you go a little more north, but staying mainly in the mid-70s. So our current dew points are pretty high in the 70s, mid to upper 70s throughout the whole Big Bend area, and that is because of all of that moisture that has been coming in and bringing us heavy rainfall throughout the whole day and into the evening. So our heat index is cooler than what we've been seeing. We have 81 in Tallahassee. That's because our temperatures haven't been that warm today because of all of that cloud cover. Again, as you do go north towards Bainbridge and Marianna, that heat index does get hotter with 108 in Bainbridge and 102 in Marianna. But for us in Tallahassee, we are at least having some cooler temperatures because of all of this rain situated over us. Now, this rain brings a lot of thunderstorms we've been seeing. So you can see all of the storms situated over the whole Big Bend area, and this has continued to increase into the evening, and we've seen that rain continue out throughout the evening. Now, this is a picture we have from Aisha Wilkinson, a fellow weathercaster here at 4FSU Weather. This is right at North Woodward near the garage on FSU's campus. A lot of flooding going on, so if you are out there, make sure to be prepared to drive safe out there and be aware of any flooding that can be causing. So as we look at our water vapor from today, we have a lot of moisture situated over us because of that high pressure system in the upper level. That has been bringing a lot of moisture from the north down towards us. We will also be seeing some sea breezes push in to the north from the Gulf going north towards Tallahassee. So we will be continuing to see this as the week goes on. So tonight you can expect isolated storms to continue throughout the evening. 75, not too cool, not too hot, just about right. Partly cloudy overnight, so we will be seeing pretty warm, pretty rainy conditions, and this will continue into tomorrow, so we will have that light chop for that boating. However, Friday, like I said, thunderstorms likely, 91 degrees, 70% chance, so be prepared for a similar day that you saw today. So let's look at the week ahead. Not really letting up with all of the rain, high degrees in the 90s, but I'm sure you want to hear more about what's going on with Tropical Storm Earl, so let's take a look at the tropics with Ulises.
All right, thank you, Alyssa. As we look at our tropical update at this hour, you'll see that Earl has been the main story this week. It did become a Category 1 yesterday. As you can see, a recap of the storms from this year. We had Alex back in January, Bonnie in May, and Colin and Danielle dominating in the month of June. As we look at the climatology for the month of August, it now begins to shift more towards the Eastern Caribbean. That's really where a lot of the activity tends to crank up at this time of the year, especially as we head towards the peak of hurricane season. They tend to either go towards the northern Atlantic, towards the northeast, or towards Florida, or even into the Gulf of Mexico approaching Texas. So really, it's time for you to have that hurricane kit with you as we go into August, September, and October. The Atlantic Basin is really quiet overall thanks to that Bermuda high dominating all summer long. The only exception is Tropical Storm Earl, now making landfall into Mexico just last night. Now really has begun to fall apart in the last 24 hours. A lot of the convection, the thunderstorm activity has fallen apart, especially since making landfall. It's really just a former remnant of itself at this point. It's still a tropical storm, though, very weak at 40 miles per hour, moving towards the west at 9 miles per hour. And its track as it goes towards southern Mexico will continue to go inland, but could also become a factor as it goes into the eastern Pacific next week as it merges with another tropical disturbance, which is over here into southern Mexico. This could merge with the remnants of Earl, and that's the National Hurricane Center is giving 70% chance of development in the next 5 days. Towards the west, however, we do have Tropical Storm Yvette, and that's actually marching its way through the eastern and central Pacific. As you can see right now, 45 miles per hour. It's going to become more of a hurricane as we go towards into the weekend, and even Hawaii could still be on the watch for this because it's still going to be a tropical storm, and the cone still has it going projectily west towards the Hawaiian Islands sometime into the next 7 to 10 days. So even Hawaii should be looking at that as we go into mid next week. For us closer to home here in the Sunshine State, most of the sunshine continues to be in the southern half of the state, 70s and 80s. In Tallahassee, however, that's where the rain has been today, 76 degrees. A lot of ick factor, especially in the northern half of the state, 70 to 80%. A lot more comfortable towards the south with those 60% values, especially for this time of the year. We'll take it. As we look at the water vapor, a lot of green, which indicates moisture in the upper levels of the atmosphere, and that's due to a low pressure that's actually towards Louisiana, affecting the northern half of the state, keeping those conditions soggy, and that will be the trend as we go into our Friday. You can see a closer look, I-10, I-95, really a soggy commute. The Futurecast, just have that umbrella with you as we go into our Friday and even to Saturday, except for the southern part of the state where you'll need more of that sunscreen when it comes to the umbrella. As we go, those overnight temperatures still on the warm side, cranking those ACs near 80 degrees. And tomorrow, clouds towards the sun and clouds towards the south, rain towards the north. And now we're going to send it over to Alyssa with a look at the national.
Thanks, Ulises. Yeah, we're going to bring it out again with the national. Our current conditions are pretty widespread. We have the 70s here in the southeast, getting into 100 for Dallas. And that rain is what's really factoring into those temperatures. So we have a lot of moisture situated over here. A lot we've been seeing here in the southeast over Florida with all those thunderstorms we've been seeing, as well as in the Midwest, we have that intersection of lots of moisture ahead of a cold front we've been seeing. So we do have these storms pushing towards, from the north, pushing towards the east that we will be seeing probably hit Michigan tomorrow. And let's just zoom in a little more, though. So we do have these storms that will be pretty heavy with the rain and severe thunderstorms that can be pushing into the Great Lakes. We might be seeing that into tomorrow. Now let's go a little more south, a little local to us with all this rain that we've been seeing in Tallahassee, and it's affecting a lot of North Florida as well as southern Louisiana. And like I said earlier, it's because of that high pressure system pushing in storms from the north, as well as the sea breeze pushing in some storms from the Gulf Coast. Now, this has brought some watches and warnings towards the area. We do have a flood watch here for parts of northern South Carolina, as well as North Carolina. And we will be seeing that and watching that throughout the day. But let's move over here to a lot of flood watch that we have here. This is because of a lot of moisture we've been seeing due to a monsoon occurrence that occurs in the summer months in that area. Now, as far as airport delays, not much going on, only here in Atlanta. We do have 23 minutes of an airport delay, but let's look at this Futurecast with all the rain that is going on. So let's push this forward into Friday. You do see the moisture lingering on, and as Friday goes on, we have a lot of moisture heavy over the four corners there in the southwest. That is because of all of that monsoon weather that we've been having. And here in the eastern part of the United States, you have a lot of moisture also situated, pushing in from the west. So we'll be seeing that go into Saturday, but tonight we are looking at fair temperatures in the 70s. Tomorrow, heating up to normal temperatures that we've been seeing in the summertime because of all that rain. But let's move to Colton now for a look at the southeast.
Thanks, Alyssa. So as my colleagues have said, we've had a lot of rain, a lot of moisture come through our area, and that is what's giving us these low temperatures that we're seeing across the southeast. As we move into looking at this dew point, you can see that we have a lot of moisture down near the ground lots of moisture to play with. That's why we've seen a lot of rain, a lot of storm activity happening in our area. And we can expect that to happen throughout the next few days. If we look at our current heat indexes, you can see that anywhere that we have these more red to orange colors, that's places that we've seen rain. Anywhere that you see those purples, they haven't seen any rain. So we will expect for this trend to continue into the next few days. If we're looking at the water vapor in the upper levels, as Alyssa was saying, we do have a high pressure system sitting in the upper atmosphere, and it's sitting actually just off the coast of Louisiana. And what that's doing is it's bringing a lot of moisture off the Gulf, putting it into the southeast, and that's going to produce a lot of that rain, a lot of that thunderstorm activity that we are expecting to see over the next few days. It is worth noting that we do have a lot of activity happening throughout the rest of Florida. They have seen a lot of rain today as well. If we start looking at the Doppler and the radar, what we have going on, tons of thunderstorms. These thunderstorms have been dropping a fair amount of rain. Over the past 12 hours here in Tallahassee, we've actually seen almost half an inch, and that is not expected to lighten up anytime soon. If we zoom over to the west and start looking more towards Texas, you can see that they don't have a lot going on, which is part of the reason that they are experiencing those extreme temperatures, extremely high heat. So be aware of that. If you are going to go outside, make sure you're wearing those light colors and drinking plenty of water. Zooming out to the rest of the region, you can see where all of that activity is localized, and localized being the southeast. So from Florida through Alabama, Georgia, all the way up into the Carolinas, all the way up the eastern seaboard. If we want to talk about tonight, though, beautiful temperatures ahead. It will be muggy, so do expect that ick factor if you are going to plan on going outside. But we are experiencing those low temperatures a little bit closer to what we're normally used to seeing this time of year. If we want to talk about tomorrow, though, you can see that wherever that rain is going to occur, we are experiencing those lower temperatures than we have seen over the past few days. But anywhere that there is not that rain, it will kick way back up into those triple digits. Now let's send it off to Ulises with a look at local.
All right, thanks, Colton. Really warm, especially out towards the Mississippi Valley. But here in the Big Bend, the clouds and rain have been the main story this afternoon. Right now, 76 degrees, so really refreshing after seeing those 90s early this afternoon. The humidity still on the high side, so that ick factor is really strong at 94% with those winds coming out of the southwest at 6 miles per hour. Before the rain did come in around 2 or 3 o'clock, we did top out in the mid-90s, especially in the Georgia counties, 95 in Bainbridge, 94 in Mariana, 92 in Valdosta. Towards the Florida counties, you notice more into the upper 80s to low 90s, 89 in Perry, 87 in Apalachicola. As we look at those temperatures at the 6 o'clock hour, thanks to all the rain and the cloud cover, a lot of 70s, especially into Monticello, Thomasville, Tallahassee. A little bit warmer just to the west or towards the east of the capital city, 87 in Perry, and especially a sizzling 92 degrees in Mariana. So they've seen a lot more sunshine than the rest of us. You can see in the radar that most of the activity today has been concentrated more towards the east of Tallahassee. We did see that push of rain around 4 o'clock, but most of the activity continues to be into Jefferson counties and into Thomas counties, now pushing towards the east. So even Valdosta could get into some of that action as we go into the next hour or so. And this is all really due to the low pressure that's off into Louisiana, and it will be the trend as we go into our Friday and Saturday. So really have that umbrella with you. Give yourself extra caution driving all throughout the roads this weekend, especially now with summer graduation and tomorrow. Give yourself extra time. But as we break down our day tomorrow, 78 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. The humidity will be intact. Those thunderstorms will begin to develop with that daytime heating and the southerly flow around 12 o'clock at 86 degrees. And a wet commute could be expected by 5 o'clock to start off your weekend. For tomorrow, not the best of beach days. The UV index, though, if it is out, will be 8 at a very high at 8. We do not recommend it, thanks to all the thunderstorms in the area. For tonight, temperatures are still going to be on the warm side, mid-70s. Showers are still possible throughout the early and mid-evening before they taper down with partly cloudy skies. For tomorrow, temperatures could top out into the low 90s. That just depends how much sun and clouds we do get throughout the region. For the week ahead, have that umbrella with you because temperatures are going to be in the low 90s all throughout. Morning lows into the mid-70s, mostly cloudy skies. If you want to tune in with us, watch us on livestream.com/FSU Weather. Also, check us out on Facebook.com/FSU Weather and Twitter.com/FSU Weather. Also, keep in mind that this is also the last show of the summer. It's been a great summer here since May. And also, we'll be back on September 6th, 33 days from now. We'll have our fall show. We'll go back to our 30-minute format with our desk segments and have a return of some cast members back from the spring semester. So overall, just tune in and have a great summer overall, and we'll see you in September.